Do you know someone who seems to attract success without trying, who faces setbacks and somehow bounces back stronger, while you are working twice as hard but staying stuck in the same place? You watch others climb higher while you remain frozen, wondering what invisible force separates the winners from everyone else. Let me tell you something that will sting. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even intelligence. A groundbreaking 2022 study from Stanford University tracked 2,147 individuals over 7 years and discovered something remarkable. Those who developed what researchers called adaptive response patterns were 73% more likely to achieve their long-term goals, earned 61% higher incomes, and reported 58% greater life satisfaction than their peers with identical starting advantages. The difference was not what they had. It was how they thought. You are caught in what the Japanese call heisha no kokoro, the loser's mind. But there is a way out. The Japanese have studied this for centuries, and they call the alternative shosha no kokoro, which translates literally to the winner's spirit or the mind of the victor. This is not positive thinking. This is not motivation. This is a complete reconstruction of how you process reality itself. Here is what most people miss. Winners and losers do not live in different worlds. They live in the same world, but see it through entirely different operating systems. And the ancient Japanese understood something that modern neuroscience is only now confirming. Your brain is not fixed. Your mind is not permanent. You can reprogram the system. I want you to drop a comment right now and tell me this. When was the last time you blamed circumstances for your situation? Because that question will reveal which mindset is currently running your life. I am Dr. Hannah, a relationship coach with 22 years of experience. I help people heal, grow, and improve their relationships, and I also research Japanese self-care methods to support modern findings on well-being. Today, I'm going to show you why the loser mindset feels so comfortable, why the winner mindset feels so foreign, and exactly how to make the switch. Let me explain what shosha no kokoro actually means at its core. In feudal Japan, samurai warriors lived by a code that separated those who survived battles from those who perished in the first clash of swords. The difference was not physical strength, it was mental architecture. Shosha no kokoro was the internal system that allowed a warrior to see opportunity where others saw only threat, to find solutions where others found only obstacles. The literal translation is winner's spirit, but the cultural meaning goes deeper. The character for shosha combines the symbols for excel and person, suggesting someone who overcomes. The character for kokoro represents not just mind, but the totality of consciousness, heart, intention, and will. This was not about winning against others. This was about winning against your own limitations. The ancient practice was simple, but brutal. Young samurai were placed in impossible situations, given tasks they could not complete with their current skills, resources, or knowledge. The point was not to succeed. The point was to observe how they responded. Those who blamed the situation, who waited for better conditions, who made excuses, were identified as having heisha no kokoro. They would never advance. Those who immediately began problem solving, who asked better questions, who took ownership of outcomes regardless of fairness, were recognized as having shosha no kokoro. They became leaders. The core principle is this. Your mind is either in expansion mode or contraction mode. Winners live in expansion, losers live in contraction, and every single thought you have pushes you toward one or the other. Here's where it gets interesting. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford University spent over 30 years researching what she calls mindset theory, and her findings align perfectly with shosha no kokoro. In a landmark 2018 study involving 3,776 participants across multiple countries, her research team discovered that individuals with a growth-oriented mindset showed 47% higher resilience scores, 52% better problem-solving abilities under stress, and were 68% more likely to persist after failure compared to those with fixed mindsets. But here is what you need to understand at a brain level. When you encounter a challenge, your brain makes a split-second decision in a region called the anterior cingulate cortex. This part of your brain determines whether the situation is a threat to avoid or an opportunity to engage. The loser mindset has trained this region to categorize most challenges as threats. The winner mindset has trained it to categorize the exact same challenges as opportunities. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford explains it this way. Your brain has two primary modes: sympathetic activation, which triggers fight or flight, and parasympathetic activation, which enables rest and digest. People with Haisha no Kokoro spend most of their time in chronic sympathetic activation. They are always in defensive mode, always protecting, always afraid. Their dopamine receptors become desensitized. Their cortisol levels remain elevated. Their brain literally becomes hardwired for survival, not growth. People with Shosha no Kokoro have trained their nervous system differently. When faced with the same stressor, their vagal tone, the ability of the vagus nerve to regulate stress response, remains high. A 2021 study from Harvard Medical School measured vagal tone in 1,942 entrepreneurs and found that those in the top quartile of vagal tone were 71% more likely to successfully launch their ventures and 59% less likely to quit during the difficult first year. Your brain is not sabotaging you. It is protecting you, but it is protecting you from growth. The mechanism works like this. Every time you avoid a challenge, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, gets reinforced. Every time you make an excuse, your prefrontal cortex, the planning and decision-making center, weakens its connections to action-oriented networks. Over time, your brain becomes a prison guard instead of a partner. But every time you take action despite fear, every time you own a mistake instead of defending it, every time you ask, how can I, instead of why can't I, you are rewiring those neural pathways. You are training Shosha no Kokoro into your nervous system. So how do you actually apply this? How do you make the switch from loser mindset to winner mindset when the loser mindset has been your default for years, maybe decades? Let me give you the exact roadmap that has worked for thousands of my clients. Week 1 is about observation, not change. You cannot fix what you do not see. For 7 days, I want you to track every single time you engage in what I call loser language. This includes I cannot, because it is not fair that. They have it easier because I would, if only, maybe later when. I am just not the type of person who. Do not judge yourself. Do not try to stop. Just notice. Write it down. By day 7, you will be shocked at how often your mind defaults to contraction instead of expansion. Most people discover they engage in loser language 40 to 60 times per day without realizing it. Week 2 is about substitution. For every instance of loser language, you are going to practice what the Japanese call koteru, which means to respond with intention. When you catch yourself saying, I cannot, because, you pause, and you replace it with, I have not yet figured out how to. When you say, it is not fair that, you pause and replace it with, given this reality, what is my best move? This is not positive thinking. This is cognitive reframing. You are teaching your anterior cingulate cortex to recategorize obstacles as problems to solve rather than reasons to quit. Week 3 introduces what I call the responsibility audit. Write down every area of your life where you are not where you want to be. Career, health, relationships, finances, personal growth. For each area, list all the external factors you have been blaming. The economy, your boss, your genetics, your past, your circumstances. Then, and this is the crucial part, write down one thing you could control in each area if you chose to take full ownership, not what someone else should do, not what should be different. What you, with your current resources, could do. This is where most people fail. They want the winner mindset without the winner responsibility. It does not work that way. Shosha no Kokoro demands that you become the author of your story, not the victim of it. Week 4 is about micro-commitments and evidence building. Your brain will not believe you have a winner mindset just because you think differently. It needs proof. So, you are going to create evidence. Pick one area from your responsibility audit. Make one commitment so small it feels ridiculous. If it is health, commit to 5 push-ups every morning for 30 days. If it is career, commit to sending 1 networking email every weekday. If it is relationships, commit to 1 honest conversation per week. The size does not matter. The consistency does. Because every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, your brain releases dopamine and strengthens the neural pathway between intention and action. You are proving to your nervous system that you are someone who does what they say they will do. By the end of 4 weeks, something shifts. It is not that challenges become easier. It is that your automatic response to challenges changes. Your brain starts reaching for expansion before contraction. You start asking how before you ask why not. This is Shosha no Kokoro taking root. But there is a deeper transformation happening here that goes beyond productivity or success. A 2023 longitudinal study from the University of Pennsylvania followed 2,156 individuals who underwent mindset interventions. Researchers found that after 18 months, those who shifted from fixed to growth mindsets reported a 64% increase in overall life satisfaction, a 53% improvement in relationship quality, and a 49% decrease in anxiety and depression symptoms. But here is what the researchers found most surprising. The increase in external success markers, like income or promotions, was actually secondary. The primary change was internal. Participants described feeling more like themselves, more authentic, more free. This is what the Japanese concept of Jibun no Chikara teaches. It translates to one's own power or self-reliance. But the philosophical meaning is about discovering that you have always had everything you need. The loser mindset tells you that you are incomplete, that you need more resources, more advantages, more time, more luck. The winner mindset reveals the truth. You are already whole. You have always been capable. You were just operating with the wrong software. In traditional Japanese culture, particularly in Zen Buddhism, there is a practice called samu, which is meditative work. Monks would spend hours doing menial tasks like sweeping, cleaning, or tending gardens. The point was not the task. The point was to train the mind to find purpose in the process, not the outcome. This is the essence of Shosha no Kokoro. The winner mindset does not need external validation to take action. It does not need guaranteed success to begin. It finds meaning in the attempt itself. What you are really seeking is not success. You are seeking proof that you are capable. You are seeking evidence that you are not broken. You are seeking permission to trust yourself again. And the cruelest irony is that you will never get that permission from the outside world. You have to give it to yourself. That is what Shosha no Kokoro does. It gives you back your own authority. And let me bring this together. You have learned that the winner mindset and loser mindset are not personality traits. They are operating systems. One is running expansion, the other is running contraction. The ancient Japanese understood that this was trainable, that Shosha no Kokoro could be cultivated through intentional practice. And modern neuroscience confirms that your anterior cingulate cortex, your dopamine receptors, your vagal tone, all of it is plastic. All of it can be rewired. You do not need to feel motivated to start. You do not need to feel confident to take action. You do not need to feel like a winner to begin thinking like one. That is what the ancient Japanese understood that modern culture forgot. You do not wait until you feel ready. You act, and readiness follows. You do not wait until the path is clear. You take one step, and clarity emerges. You do not wait until you have the winner mindset. You practice Shosha no Kokoro, and the mindset becomes you. If this resonates with you, if you are ready to stop living in contraction and start living in expansion, subscribe to this channel. I share Japanese self-care methods and relationship tools every week, and my goal is to help you build the life you actually want, not the life your fears have chosen for you. Shosha no Kokoro is not about beating others. It is about freeing yourself. One choice, then another, then another.